Hi friends, this is Firearm Pop, and today I have an article on something that caught my eye and there's been a little bit of controversy on, and I wanted to put my 2 cents in. But this article kind of puts it all in perspective, so I'm going to read it. It's National Right to Carry Bill is under attack. This critically important bill, introduced earlier this year by Congressman Cliff Stearns, Republican, Florida, and Heath Shuler, Democrat, North Carolina, and co-sponsored by more than 240 of their colleagues, would enable millions of permit holders to exercise their right to self-defense while traveling outside their home states. Now, this is currently only one remaining state, Illinois, that has no clear way for individuals to carry concealed firearms for self-defense. 40 states have permit systems that make it possible for law-abiding person to obtain a permit, while most of the others have discretionary permit systems. Vermont has never required a permit. H.R. 822 would mark a major step forward for gun owners' rights by significantly expanding where those permits are recognized. Dozens of states have passed right-to-carry laws over the past 25 years because of the right to self-defense does not end when one leaves the home. However, interstate recognition of those permits is not uniform and creates great confusion and potential problems for travelers. While many states have broad reciprocity, others have very restrictive reciprocity. Still others deny recognition completely, like my state, New York. H.R. 822 would solve this problem by requiring that lawful issue carry permits are recognized while protecting the ability of those various states to determine their areas where carrying is prohibited within their boundaries. Unfortunately, but predictably, H.R. 822 continues to be attacked in some quarters, namely the anti-gun media like the New York Times and the Washington Post, anti-gun organizations like the Brady Campaign, and New York City's mayor, piece of crap that he is, Mayor Bloomberg, Mayors Against Illegal Guns, and regrettably even some so-called pro-gun organizations. Opponents of the legislation claim that it trambles on each state's rights, which it doesn't. But, I'm going to stop there for a minute. Yeah, I have a New York State driver's license, and I'm permitted to drive anywhere around the world with it. In reality, I've been overseas, Europe, and I've rented cars and just whip out my New York State driver's license, and they let me drive in their city. What is the big deal here? You still have to abide by the local laws. New York State has a right turn on red. Not every state does. But when you're in a state that doesn't, you have to abide by their rules. So this is much to do about nothing here. Opponents of the legislation claim that it tramples on each state's rights, but states don't have rights, only powers. And while many anti-gun lawmakers who long pushed national gun bans, national bans on private gun sales, national waiting periods, and other federal restrictions have suddenly become, again, advocates of states' rights to oppose the bill, several provisions of the Constitution give Congress the authority to enact interstate carry. Congress also has the power to protect the rights of citizens nationwide under the 14th Amendment. Next, despite the handful of pro-gun activists say the bill would not create a federal licensing system, nor would it establish a minimum federal standard for a carry permit. Rather, it would require the states to recognize each other's carry permits, just as the recognized driver's license carry permits held by armored car guards. Unfortunately, these self-proclaimed gun rights supporters who have no active lobbying presence in any legislature have an agenda that has very little to do with promoting the interest of gun owners. Here are the facts about few of the claims. Myth: H.R. 822 would involve the federal bureaucracy in setting standards for carrying permits, resulting in the need requirements, higher fees, waiting periods, national gun owner registration, or worse. Fact: H.R. 822 doesn't require or even authorize any such action by federal agency. In fact, since it would amend the Gun Control Act, it would fall under limitation within the law that authorizes only such rules and regulations as are necessary to carry out the GCA's provisions. No federal rules or regulations would be needed to implement H.R. 822, which simply overrides certain state rules. Myth: H.R. 822 would destroy permitless carry systems such as those in Arizona, Alaska, Vermont, and Wyoming. Fact: H.R. 822 would have absolutely no effect on how permitless carry states works within those states. For residents of Arizona, Alaska, and Wyoming, those permits are not required and remain available under state law. H.R. 822 would have those permits valid in all states and issue permits to only their own residents. Residents of Vermont, where no permits are issued or required, could obtain non-resident permits from other states to enjoy the benefits of H.R. 822. Myth: H.R. 822 moved through the legislative process would be subject to anti-gun amendments. Truth: by this logic, neither NRA or any other pro-gun group should ever promote any pro-gun reform legislation. But inaction isn't an option for those of us who want to make positive changes for gun owners. Instead, we know that by a careful vote, counting in and strategic use of legislative procedure, anti-gun amendments can be avoided and defeated. 822 is a good bill for gun owners. Don't listen to false and misleading accusations. Read the bill for yourself and read our fact sheet that gives the facts. Then please contact your member of Congress and urge him to support the earliest possible consideration of H.R. 822 this year. Okay? So, I support that last comment. Contact your member of Congress and urge him to support the earliest possible consideration of H.R. 822. I see this as all good. I understand there are some pro-gun groups that are against this, and for the life of me, I can't see why. They think it's going to add some legislation and some restrictions. And I only think it opens, just like your driver's license, opens us up to I carry like 8 or 9 different state permits with me, only because I do some traveling up and down the East Coast, which is ridiculous, and nobody is allowed to carry in New York State. So, brothers and sisters, I urge your support of H.R. 822 and call your congressman today, and let's get this bill through Congress while we still have a majority. And I could not believe myself that 240 of their colleagues, support this amendment. So let's go. What are we waiting for? Okay, so this is Firearm Pop. You can friend me on Facebook at Firearm Pop. You can find me on the web at firearmpop.com. Don't forget to hit the like button, and be safe out there, and God bless. Bye now.